Welcome, lovely people. Today we are going to be playing Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. This is a game that I have played before, but it has been quite some time, and we are going to be creating a character that I have never created before. So let's begin. We're going to start a new game, and we are playing this for peaceful relaxation, so we are going to be playing it in the casual setting. This game uses an auto-saving feature. If you see this icon on the screen, do not turn off the PlayStation 4 system. Believe me, we won't be turning off the PlayStation 4 system. From what I recall of having played this game, which I have recently revisited, just so that I could make sure this was appropriate for the kind of gameplay we are about to do, I always create a character that is either fully finesse or half finesse, half sorcery. I remember that specifically because I remember the daggers, and daggers are finesse, and I often put the staff as my secondary weapon, which is sorcery. It is very easy and comfortable for me to play in that style, so I would like to play differently this time. I will be able to talk you through what I have chosen for my other builds in the past, and then also what I would like to do here. I'm thinking that I will probably attempt to lean into the might portion of the gameplay, which is a lot slower than I am comfortable
From the
with, to be
beginning,
honest.
we were wrong. And only now, well into the second decade of the conflict, have we begun to understand the mistakes we have made. We lived in harmony among the Fae, in a world awakened to new magic. Perhaps we should have foreseen what might be born on this rising tide.
Perhaps.
What force might awaken. A force powerful enough to twist even the eternal and immutable Fae folk. But Gadflow, the new king of the Winter Court, surprised us all. Singular among his people,
Oh dear.
he was all that other Fae were not. Aggressive, ambitious, visionary. He had power like none we had ever seen, terrible and deadly. Gadflow and his followers, the Tuatha Deon, believed that a new god was to be born in the east, beneath Gadflow's crystalline fortress of Amathin. In the name of that god, they marched to war against the young races of Amalur. Against a mortal army, no matter the power of their god, we might have been victorious. But the Fae are creatures of magic, not bound by the laws of life and death. Each Tuatha fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again, for the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of Men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.
Me? I did. I don't think so. I don't feel dead.
Well, perhaps if your looks correlated with how you feel, people wouldn't mistake you for being deceased. Don't be surprised if more people make that mistake.
That battlefield is so full of bodies. This isn't the most peaceful way to start a calming video. He was playing cards.
What do you think this one is then? Alpha? Garan? Could even be a Jotun. Always a surprise, eh, Garan?
Eyes on the job, boy. Don't matter what it is. Dead's dead. And be thankful for that. All we've seen. Go on and pull back the sheet, though. It'll need to be in our report, one way or the other.
He does not look much like a boy. He looks to be either the same age or older than the other gnome. Alright, let's have a look. I am going to pick female because I am female and I have a preference to play female characters. Then we're going to have a look at the races. We have Almain. The Almain are a warlike and religious nation of storied origin. Many Almain come to the Feylands seeking freedom while honoring the traditions of their homeland. Their racial bonuses are Alchemy +1, Blacksmithing +2, and Persuasion +1. Next we have the Varani. Hardened by the high seas, the Varani are just as frequently pirates and mercenaries as they are shrewd merchants. They favor swords and daggers as seaworthy weapons. Their racial bonuses are Detect Hidden +1, Mercantile +1, and Lockpicking +2. Jolsulfar.
That's actually pronounced low sulfur.
The Jolsulfar are proud and ancient people from the frozen lands of the north. Jolsulfar judge themselves fit to divine right from wrong under wind, sun, and sky, and meet an even-handed justice. Their racial bonuses are Dispelling +2, Alchemy +1, and Sagecraft +1. Dokalfar are renowned as sophisticated students of magic and diplomacy. While they do not shy from conflict, they prefer to resolve disputes subtly and with grace, or efficiently in silence. Their racial bonuses are Sagecraft +1, Stealth +2, and Persuasion +1. The last time that I played this game, this is the race that I chose for the build that I was creating. I will say that stealth is a lot less used in this game than I would like, and also isn't as effective as I would like, even though I had paid quite a great many skill points into that particular skill.
Did you just say quite a great many? Also, I believe you are remembering the game incorrectly. It is handy to have the stealth skill, it's just only useful for particular circumstances when you are using your daggers. If you are using your bow, it becomes a little more useful.
But as we are trying to build something different today, I will not be using this race. It looks like the Jolsulfar have Dispelling, Alchemy, and Sagecraft, and tend to be leaning more towards magic. This is not something that I tend to use. I tend to pick the Dokalfar because of their stealth, which I think has actually been something that has backfired for me in the past a little because of the way that the stealth functions in this game. I will say, I'm pretty sure that the only other race I have used in this game is this one, the Varani, because they tend to favor daggers, and this has Detect Hidden and Lockpicking as racial bonuses, which I very much liked. So the races that I have not used are the Almain and the Yolsulfar. It looks like the Almain race is leaning more towards crafting, which is not something I very heavily did in this game ever. And then the other race that I have not used is the Yolsafar, and they seem to be leaning heavily into magic. Now, by what they look like, my preference would be the Yulsafar. Also, the fact that I'm struggling to pronounce the name is kind of making me want to choose it because it kind of ties into choosing something I wouldn't normally choose. Now I'm choosing something I also can't pronounce very well. And then perhaps we could create a might sorcery build, or even go 100% against the grain for the character and try to create a character who is leaning heavily into might with some odd racial bonuses that don't really match. I will say though, both of these races have alchemy as a racial bonus, and I will say that the persuasion here is deterring me slightly from this race just because I often use this race for its persuasion, and I also tend to level the persuasion quite early on. And so this is something I would use. Alchemy I wouldn't use on either, Sagecraft I wouldn't use, Dispelling I also very rarely use. So I'm thinking I might go with this race, the Yulsifar, and then perhaps, or Julsifar, I'm not sure.
Low sulfur.
I don't know, I'm sure we will hear the pronunciation of this character's race in-game, something I have never heard before as I usually play with no sound. But I'm thinking I'll go with this race just because their racial bonuses are more left of field than what I would normally choose, with this one having persuasion. And also I think it might be a bit of fun to lean into might sorcery. I never use might. I do use sorcery, but it's never my primary. Finesse is always my primary. So we're going to go with this race. Alright, next we need to choose a patron, or indeed choose no patron at all. This one is Gay, the goddess of earth, the harvest and fertility. The patron bonus is plus 5% elemental resistance. Onshan, the god of air, sky, stars, and winds. The patron bonuses for this one are plus 6 lightning damage and plus 6 lightning resistance. This is air. For wisdom, we have Athene, the goddess of wisdom and art. The patron bonus is 10% mana. For order, we have Matharu, the god of order. The patron bonuses for this one are 5% health and 5% mana. For justice, we have Nyandon.
I think that perhaps, like in low sulfur, how the J is silent, that perhaps the Y is silent here, which would make this Nardon.
The god of justice. The patron bonuses are 10% health. I should say plus 10% health. I think I haven't been saying the plus on those, but obviously a bonus would not negatively impact our character. You can also choose none and be beholden to no god. Your self-sufficiency yields its own rewards. This patron bonus is plus 1 experience bonus. The ones that I have used in the past have not been relevant here. Some of the patron bonuses are different depending on what race you use. So if we leave here and go to one I normally use, you can see here that the patrons are of a different name and also offer different rewards or bonuses. So this is not something I've actually chosen from before. I will say they all seem to have an availability for health and mana increase, so I think maybe we should avoid those because that is likely something I have used in the past. So we should either go with plus 5 elemental resistance, plus 6 lightning damage and plus 6 lightning resistance, or none. I feel like out of those three, none is the one I would be least likely to choose, so we're going to go with that one, which will be interesting to see if it's a noticeable difference in the increase in experience. I doubt very much that it will be with only 1%. Alright, we have some presets to scroll through for our character's design. I think preset 4 is my favorite, so we will go from there and adjust. I will say, once you have chosen a preset, they are quite easy to edit to whatever you like, so it's not really a be-all and end-all with the preset. I'm going to stick with the face that originally was there. Skin tone, I'm really liking this purple, so I would like to keep it purple, but maybe go a bit darker like that one there. I think it just gets paler as we move to the left, it does. So I feel we'll go with this one, which is quite a nice purple colour. The eye colour, I'm wondering if we can find a match. Ooh, I like that. I wouldn't mind finding a purple eye to go with the skin, but I don't know that they have it. It doesn't look like they do. So I'm thinking I might go with this very, very dark. I think it might even be black. Just because I think it suits her. It may be because of the lipstick and the current facial tattoos that are influencing my decision there, but even so, I like it. Okay, then we've got eyeshadow color, which honestly I don't know that I can see a difference in any of it as I move the swatches along. I'm sorry, slider. As I move the slider along, I'm not seeing any difference. I'm just going to leave it there. Oh, maybe if we do this one. Okay, I didn't notice a single change there either. Now it looks like the lipstick colour is also editable, which I think is cool, though I do think I am quite likely to put it back to, oh, maybe I won't put it back to its original colour, just because that very dark lip that she had is one of the things that attracted me to using this particular face. I think I'm going to stick with this. Lip intensity seems like an odd choice of word to me. I'm not really sure what it means. Is it positioning the mouth differently or something? I'm not really seeing a difference. I think I'll just leave it on whatever this is, the highest one, I think, because I'm not really sure of exactly what the difference is with that. Does anybody else find the music to be slightly spooky? Alright, let's move on to hair. I have a tendency in every game that I play to pick a hairstyle where most of it is down, or even all of it, for the majority of my characters, particularly if I am playing a game that only has one character. I try to make it, I guess, look like me. I tend to put myself in my character a little, and I tend to have my hair down. So that tends to be where I go. I think this might be the hairstyle that I use the most because it has the ears exposed like this, and because the majority of the hair is down. I do recognize this from my other characters, so I would like to steer away from it if we can. I don't know that I want to do a short hairstyle, but something that is outside of what I would normally choose would be good. I'm actually thinking that I quite liked these braids at the side here. That is not something I would normally choose, and I quite like it. It covers her ears, which is the opposite of what I normally do, and it's tied up, also the opposite of what I normally do. Alright, let's go with the braids. Now the hair color, I tend to, not always, but tend to go black. I used to dye my hair black. I like black. I think it's quite striking and also contrasts with facial features very well, makes them stand out. But the other thing I also do, particularly if I'm making an elf character, sometimes is go completely white with the hair, because I feel that that's quite striking as well and draws more attention to the hair. So I would like to avoid both of those options. So we've got a green, brown, a more yellow brown, blonde, chestnut, I don't know, more yellow blonde, a red tinge blonde, lighter, red, brighter, lighter, orange, brighter, yellow, very, very yellow, and even lighter. Oh, that's quite a blonde colour. That looks a little more natural than some of the other blondes that they had there that are quite yellow. Very pale blonde, grey, a purpley white, and a quite stark white. I feel that this suits her quite a bit, but also looks very similar to the colour of her skin, which I will say is something I don't normally do. I tend to pick hair that contrasts rather than matches, but I think that the one that stood out to me the most in here is something I've never used, is this like red colour. I'm not sure if I want to go dark with it, bright or light. I think that the darker one complements her face a little better. The bright kind of draws away from the face. So let's go with the dark red, a color I would not normally choose, but we're trying to go outside of my comfort zone here. An eyebrow color, we would of course like it to match, please. Actually, now I'm wondering whether I should. That looks a little odd. It stands out more, so I'm not looking at her eyes. If we keep a black brow like her lips, I feel like that looks a little better. I think we're going to go with that. Alright, then we have jewelry options. Now, I personally do not have pierced ears, and as such, I tend to avoid putting pierced ears on my characters, particularly if it is the main character that I'm going to play. On here, I only intend to play one character, so I don't know if I should put earrings just to be different from what I normally do, if it is even an option, as I don't remember whether it is. But I will say if I do, the hairstyle kind of makes it pointless because we're not going to be able to see them. So I think maybe we should aim for a piercing on her face or none. Can't see a great many of these, I assume, because of her hairstyle. We can see that one. I don't like the gold color that they are. I'm hoping we can adjust the color, but I will say most of these are not visible with the current hairstyle she has, and I do not intend to change the hairstyle. I kind of like this ring, the lip ring that is slightly off center. It's not something I would normally use. I dislike the color of it. It does seem, I don't know, different from what I would normally do. So let's get that. Next, we have our tattoo options. Let's scroll through. I do normally put tattoos on the faces of my characters, and they are normally asymmetrical, so this is probably one of the things that drew me to this character, is the asymmetrical tattoo on her face. But we might try to avoid that, as it's something I would typically do, and opt for something that is symmetrical, or even more dainty or decorative than what I would normally choose, which is usually quite rustic, for want of a better word. Um, if we can find something pretty, I don't normally choose pretty on the faces of my character. Like, that's kind of pretty, and it is symmetrical, so I would not normally choose that. This is something I would normally choose. You see how it's asymmetrical and kind of messy? That is something I would typically choose, so we won't go with that. I kind of like this one. It's subtle, which is not something I would normally choose. I usually have quite dramatic splattering on her face. But I like that it is symmetrical because that's not what I would normally choose. And I like this piece at her chin. And I'm wondering if we adjust the color, if it's something that's going to work for us quite well. Or if we should keep it black so that the tattoo is matching her lips and her brows. So let's scroll through. Oh, the color disappears. I guess this must be the same color as her skin on that first one there. White, orange, red or pink, green, blue, orange, brown. I think it's just getting more dusty. Purpley pink, purple, greeny blue, green. Disappeared. It looks like a very subtle yellow. White, bright yellowy white. Orange again. Well, I quite like the purple because it's not the same as the black. I normally keep my tattoos black, unless they are meant to look like a wound, then sometimes I will go with red. But I don't normally choose purple, even though it is my favorite color. It does go with her skin tone, and I kind of like it, so we're going to go with that. I must say, this character's looking much more sweet than what I would normally create, so that's kind of interesting. And it's got tattoo intensity. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, I think it might be the saturation of the color. So if we go all the way, I love that. Look how much it stands out. Let's leave it like that. Okay, we have finished all of her styling, it looks like. So let's go confirm.
She's a low sunflower.
Lo salva.
Things considered, I never did like her myself. Snooty bunch. All right then.
How rude.
Make sure it goes into the report.
I promise I'm not snooty.
You know he'll want all the details.
Amazing how well the body held up. Better than I've seen.
I'm just glad it's not moving. Must have been born under a lucky star, this one.
Anything else we need?
Unless you'd like to name her, I think we're done. Put her with the others.
Yes, I would like Shattered Shadow as my player name. Thank you.
Well, that's it for you then. Better luck next time.
Oh, that is not very pleasant. I feel like I'm going to wake up in amongst a bunch of corpses. Oh yeah, that is disgusting. Gross. She needs to go and take a shower now. She's walking kind of funny. I mean, she was supposed to be deceased, wasn't she? So I suppose walking funny is probably not something I should hold against her. Alright, let's go. Oh. I am just going to adjust my options because I don't really enjoy when the controller vibrates. There we go. I much prefer when the controller doesn't vibrate, so let's move through without it. We have a chest. Experiment disposal. Secrecy is still important in our work, requiring specialized disposal of our unfortunate failures. Piling remains have become a concern in the lower caverns, so an incinerator has been added to deal with the wastes. Gross. This should make, I mean, maybe not gross. Maybe it is a good thing to be able to dispose of the corpses. I mean, you saw that pile that she woke from. It was surrounded by flies. This should make disposal work slightly less horrible, although you should avoid drinking water from downstream of the ash dumps. Hardly a fitting rest for the poor things. But if it's any consolation, these weren't their original bodies in the first place? Formus Hughes. These weren't our original bodies? Alright, let's take that in case it's needed for something in future. Looks like we can pull this. Oh, can we incinerate something? Yes, we can. Lovely. Alright, loot the rusty sword. Thank you, I shall. We'll take all those. We have acquired new items. Go to the options menu. Inventory, weapons. Our primary is going to be a rusty longsword for the moment. We may need to keep something similar as the main weapon because that is something I would never choose. It is far too slow for my liking. Then we also have items which are the disposal notes that I just read through and picked up. They're quest menu also has a star. The quest log contains all of your quests. No, really? You can set your active quest by selecting a quest and pressing X. At the moment we only have one, these are all empty, and it is Out of the Darkness, find a way out. I woke up in a pile of corpses somewhere deep underground. I have no memory of who I am and no clue where I am. I need to find a way out of here. Indeed we do. Ooh, looks like this might be that way. Ground is rattling. I assume that is another occasion where my controller. Oh dear. That scream was a little delayed, but that was not good. My goodness, they're fighting all right, aren't they? Can I go and help? I cannot. I'm way over here. Good job. Oh, okay. I was going to say I assumed that was another occasion where my controller would have vibrated. Here also, I think. I'm very glad I turned that off. More than anything, I just find it distracting. It doesn't make it any more immersive for me, so I tend to turn it off. And I have heard of people having some trouble with their controller when they've had the vibration on, so I don't want to have any trouble with my controllers. Square to attack. Okay. Wow, she swings that faster than I thought she would. I know that I have definitely played this tutorial before and likely have used this weapon before, but the second that I can swap over to daggers, I will do so, which means I haven't played this weapon in a very long time. And it's very weird for me to see how fast it moves because I was expecting it to be so incredibly slow compared to what I am used to with the daggers that I would hate it, but I don't hate that. That's actually quite swift. Someone's asking for help. X to jump down. Alright, I'm coming. This one to dodge. Okay. Oh, I see. Nice. I don't hate this weapon. I was expecting to really dislike this weapon. Oh, I was about to attack
I've
him.
seen you before.
You have?
On the slab. You were dead. It worked.
Yes.
By the dome, it worked. You're alive.
Yeah. Apparently I have acquired armor. Like weapons, armor is equipped from the inventory screen under armor. No kidding. What happened to me?
You died. I don't know how or even where. But your body was remade in the Well of Souls, and somehow it worked. The well restored
can't even
your
check our
soul
body
to
to
your
work out
body,
what
and
was wrong
it
with
worked.
us.
We must get you to
Because
Professor
our
Hughes
body
right
was
away.
remade.
He'll have questions for you.
Alright. Who are these attackers?
Oh my, you don't know? Oh, perhaps the process damaged your memory. They are the Tuatha Deon, the enemies of all the young races. We've never seen them this far inland, not even during the invasion. I don't know why they are here. Hughes may have the answer to that as well. You must stay alive and reach him.
Who is Hughes?
Professor Formerus Hughes. The Well of Souls is his life's work. The Tuatha are coming into the lower levels. If we hurry, we should be able to beat them to the top. Take these. They'll help keep you safe long enough to get to Hughes. Now, let's get going!
Where is
He'll be
Hughes?
in his study on the ground floor of the tower. At least, I hope he's there. And safe.
Alright. Tell me more about the attackers.
Oh my. You don't know? Perhaps the process damaged your memory. They are the Tuatha Deon, the enemy of all the young races. We've never seen them this far inland. Not even during the invasion. I don't know why they're here.
I guess I've already asked that question. What is the Well of Souls?
The Well of Souls is just ahead. You'll see. And it works. It restored you to life. There will be plenty of time to explain later. We've got to get going.
But I have one more question. Tell me about my death.
I wish I could tell you more. You showed no signs of life when we removed your new body from the well's waters. We just put it in the furnace room with the others. We would have never done that if we knew.
Clearly. All right.
Let me get this door. We can be on our way. Right this way. You go first.
Naturally. Let's equip the armor that we have. Inventory, armor. We have 2 different pairs of leggings. This one is the improvement, worn leggings with plus 5% critical hit damage. Apparently we received some potion. Let's map that to the radial. The item radial allows you to quickly access consumables from the game. Here you can add consumables from your inventory by selecting an empty slot and pressing X, which is what we're going to do. Additionally, you can also add consumables to the item radio when in-game by pressing L1. There it is in the L1 menu. Alright, let's see what you have. Some armor, let's put that on also. Need to be protected if we're about to kick the butts of a whole bunch of Tuatha. As far as I recall, destroying crates like this is supposed to reward you with gold. There it is. Let's loot the chest. We've got some boots. Is there anything else in this room? Over here as well. Then we will equip whatever we have. Alright, let's equip the boots. Old boots, but at least we are not running around barefoot any longer. I don't think we've missed anything else. Let's go through here.
This is what they're after. Our greatest invention.
The Well of Souls.
Imagine an end to war. An end to death.
That is huge. Wow. Oh. Cutscene. Explosives. Wow. It didn't go very well, did it? Alright, where are we headed? Guess we aim for the yellow circle on the map. Seems to be our target location, although I don't want to be ridiculous and miss anything useful. Pull the lever, Kronk. Alright.
One of the storerooms. See if you can find anything useful.
Alright. Some objects can be destroyed by weapons. Wooden crates, barrels.
And porcelain urns are all smashable.
It disappeared on me. And this will often give us rewards, usually gold. We have a chest. Some greaves and lockpicks. We can press square for a comparison between the items, and it looks like the flimsy greaves are a 30 out of 30 rather than 17 out of 17 for how much damage they can take before they're destroyed. So we might go with that. It also has a slightly higher armor level, which is 5/3. They do also appear to be a more heavy armor, which is not something I tend to use very much, but I will be this time because we're going to lean into might, at least to some degree. We also received lockpicks there, which are very handy later when we find chests and things to open. Here Here we have another crate, or chest rather. There's a lot in here. Let's have a look at the armor. We have some gloves now. They don't look particularly impressive, but better than nothing, I guess. Let's keep moving. Head to here, I suppose. Are there any more crates? Nope, there's more crates. We'll go and get those. I don't want to miss anything and be silly. Gold also adds up rather quickly when you're destroying things, so I'm going to keep doing that. This looks like a weapons rack. It is. We now have a shield. You have acquired a shield. Shields are used to block enemy attacks. Try equipping it now. So let's do that. Shield. Beautiful.
Do you hear something?
No. Do you? I do now.
More to offer!
Alright, here we go. L2 to block.
You're going to need more than just that sword. That one had a bow. Get it?
Yes, sir. Okay. You have acquired a longbow. Please press options to learn how to equip it and use it as a secondary weapon. Alright, weapons, secondary, crude birch bow. Congratulations, your longbow is now equipped. Press options to return to the game. Alright. It looks like we have limited ammunition on the bow. Is that correct?
Archers up ahead. Let's shoot them before they see us.
Alright. Triangle to use your secondary weapon. Alright. We literally have one bow left.
Go!
One arrow, I should say, one arrow left. Oh, it looks like they replenish after I fired. So I suppose that means you can fire 5 and then they will replenish. Or at least 5 at maximum. That would be my guess. I guess we'll find out as we keep going, because I don't normally use a bow at all. To unleash a powerful ranged shot, press and hold triangle. Alright. I don't know why I've not used the bow before. We currently... Ah, there we go. They did. The arrows replenished quite quickly there. So good to know we don't have to continuously collect arrows. Interesting. I'm using a weapon I would never use. Actually, 2. In this game. I've never used a bow.
Actually, she's not correct about that. The very first time that we played this game on the PlayStation 3, we played it full finesse with daggers as the primary and bow as the secondary. We have since then played 2 other games of this, and both of those were half finesse, half sorcery. One of them was daggers and staff, and the other was, I believe, fey blades and staff. The staff does not have the same range as the bow, but it seems to draw a little bit faster and do a higher amount of damage earlier on.
And I've never used a longsword. It's always daggers. I think at one stage I tried out the fey blades also, but they're basically very similar to the daggers. And then I use a staff. So this will be new if I stick to these. I think there's something in here called a... Oh, it was just to talk to you. I thought perhaps there was something I could activate there, but no.
Daggers are deadly if you catch an enemy unaware. Their speed more than makes up for their size.
You have acquired daggers. Daggers are a special kind of weapon preferred by rogues. Try equipping them now. I will, but my intention is, of course, to remove them, because I'm trying not to slip into old habits. And daggers are definitely my preference. Gauntlets.
More up ahead. If you can sneak up on them with your daggers, you should be able to finish them quickly and quietly.
How do we sneak? can't recall how to sneak. R1. I pressed R1, but it didn't work. I guess I had to wait till I was given the prompt. The eye indicator gradually fills up and turns red. If the eye fills up, you will be noticed. Investing in the stealth skill will allow you to get closer to enemies without being detected. It's not that good. Now try to sneak up on this enemy before he notices you and perform a sneak attack. You can even kill him instantly by using daggers. We will do this. This is something I actually really enjoy doing. It's my favorite way to play. But in this game in particular, the sneak skill is not enough because even if you're like doing what you're doing right now, right? The likelihood of there being only one enemy to come up upon is very slim. So this happens so rarely. See, we've got two here. I may be able to get a sneak attack out on one of them because they're both facing the wrong way. But this happens so rarely in the actual gameplay. In the normal gameplay that you will be doing out in the world once we escape here, they're never facing the same direction. If there's more than one, they're all facing each other and usually moving. So I love the stealth skill, but it's a little useless in this particular game, which is sad because it is one of my favorite things to do. And now on my other characters, I feel like I have spent a lot of skill points that I never actually use. Look at the plants growing.
Respond in the presence of magic.
I'm magic.
Perhaps there is more to you than it seems.
Indeed there is. Hold R2 to assess your abilities, then press square to use your Storm Bolt ability. Alright, R2, square.
Incredible. What are you?
Master of the Universe. Look at them leap, like, they're so pretty how they come out of the ground for me. I love that. I didn't remember this detail from the last time that I played. It's been far too long. Oh, I love that, the footfall sound on the floor too. Take all of those, thank you. Anything to destroy? Oh, something glowing. Hughes, regarding the spiders. Per your request, we've finally got the spider problem under control. Claude will try to take credit for an efficient cleansing with his Praetorians, but I feel he overstates his case and fails to recognize the value that my own quick thinking and scholarly work provided to this successful operation. While overseeing the spider purge, I noticed that those guards who were affected by spider venom exhibited stiffness of joints and tightening of skin, symptoms which suggest a possible solution for the internal cohesion problems of some of these Wells creations. I would have studied these symptoms in more depth at the time, but the guards willfully and flagrantly disobeyed my orders to delay application of antitoxins. As such, I request that we capture some of these spiders in order to harvest their venom for future testing. Furthermore, I trust that these insubordinate guards will be punished immediately. For my steadfast pursuit of knowledge, I require no medal nor promotion. All I would ask is that you please reassign me off of subject disposal detail. Garan. Sounds a little bitter about the situation, which actually seems kind of fair enough, I guess. Does that mean that the guards did not apply antitoxins and ended up perishing because of that? It's a little bit confronting, isn't it? Look at them grow. Oh, it's so pretty. That's not pretty. What happened to you? Were you magic also? We have a spider. You have acquired a staff. Staves are a type of weapon preferred by mages. Try equipping it now. Alright, staff it is. A new armor piece, dented. Let's do a comparison. It has got a higher armor level, so we'll put that one on. Torn robes. Robes replace both your torso and your leg armor. Maybe this is more worth it for magic? Are we leaning into magic, or we're leaning into might more? I do use sorcery quite a bit, but always as a secondary, but I don't use might. I want to use might. Rusty gauntlets are an improvement. Let's put those on. Legs, rusty leg plates. They seem the best piece, and everything else we already had. Our consumables have increased. Mana, we put over here. I don't usually slot the venom ones, I usually apply them before we enter, so I don't need to put them in the slots. Then items, we've got the tattered documents, the spider memo, and lockpicks. The writings on these documents are too faded to be of value, so we're going to add that to the junk folder, as it's not useful for us, and most likely we can either sell or destroy it. I do just want to go back into this corner here and see if I have missed a chest or something of the like. Indeed. Let's keep moving. Come on, Ansel. Long ways to go through here.
It completely covered the tunnel.
They
Maybe
have.
you can use that staff to burn a path through.
That is the plan, but I will say I love these purple mushrooms and flowers. I'm not sure if they're a flower. Spider webs burn with quite a lot of ease. Battle over. Nothing to collect from them. Oh, over here maybe. Thank you. Got a little inlet in the map. Is there something there? No. Do make sure you check those inlets and little pieces off of the map when you're first in this game, because you often will find a whole bunch of items that are really handy to start with. And at the very beginning, oh, wrong weapon. Normally my staff is my secondary weapon. Yeah, normally there's no lockpicking required this early on, so they can be quite helpful. Very weird having the staff in my primary slot at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, bossy boots. Oh, wrong direction. Help if I went the correct direction, which is this way. Hello.
Wait, you're not one of them.
Yeah, neither are
Get
you.
alive! And who's this? That's what I intend to find out. She came out of the well.
I did
What?
indeed.
Then she better get inside to see the old man.
Of
Quick,
course.
before those twatha make another push.
They're all very insistent upon doing things quickly, aren't they?
Take whatever you want from this armory.
I suppose it is
We might have
necessary.
a few things that would fit you. Just make sure you get to choose. We can hold off the Tuatha here.
Okay. I feel like that's not enough. Where is Hughes?
He's directly ahead, in his study. Just keep going past the top of the well. He needs to see you. Right now, you're the most valuable thing in his world. I'll see you on the outside.
It's a lot to put on one's shoulders, buddy.
If you can walk, you don't need my help.
Yeah, if you can walk, you don't need her help. Oh, here we go. Let's grab everything, because we can likely sell anything we don't need. And we won't be coming back in here after this, I believe, so let's grab everything that we can.
Leather armor is thin, but will give you the speed to reach an enemy's boat.
Alright, thank you. Alright, let's put in our items. Daggers are so tempting, guys. Right, let's chuck the longsword back in. And we'll keep our bow. They are items I would never choose. These look the same as each other, except one has taken slightly more damage than the other. This one less awesome, so we won't go with that. The robes are tempting, I will say, but I have on occasion used robes in the past for my magic builds. I've never done anything might-oriented, so let's get into the heavy armor. At some point, the heavy armor, as I start to level up, will require me to pay skill points into the might section, so I will need to be doing that in order to maintain it, which I planned to do anyway because it's outside of my normal play style. Rusty leg plates, they are the same, that's fine. Feet. Oh, we don't have... Oh, the greaves are already on us, never mind. I was going to say we don't have any iron kind of armor that we could put on her feet, but she's already wearing them. They're just called flimsy for some reason. Alright, so that's done. Consumables, these are already fine. Items, we have repair kit for our armor. I don't tend to use these ever. I let the armor go down, and then every time I finish a mission, I will head back to a store and get someone to repair it for me at the store rather than spending repair kits myself. Bones we are going to put into junk. They are basically useless. Same goes for the skulls, but they will get us a little bit of coin at the start, so that's their only benefit at this stage. Let's go through. Alright. Here we go. That is very green. Okay. You can get a better view of your surroundings by pressing R3. I don't feel like that is really that much of an improvement, I'm sorry to say. I guess it does give us a better range of movement for us instead of doing it like this, because we're pulling in closer. Alright, alright. I will concede. That is indeed better. Thank you. Okay. Anything to grab? There's a book. Well progress log. Experiments are now successfully recreating bodies 97.5% of the time. Any missing limbs or extra fingers are now probably how the original subject looked, rather than a magical flux on our end. However, full reviviation still eludes us. Even with increased testing, products are nothing more than inert lumps of skin and bone, although the occasional spasm or twitch does allow hope of full success in the future. I know some of you complain that we should use cadavers and skip the corpse recreation altogether, but you must know we'd never be allowed to experiment with a subject's actual body. We may be working to recreate life, but that hardly allows us to desecrate the dead. Any further complaints can be brought to me directly. Fomerus Hughes. Interesting. And a little grotesque. Also, mildly heartless, because if I understand not wanting to desecrate the dead, but by recreating us in this way, someone who is already dead has been brought back without their will being consulted in the least. They have no control. Or choice. This is quite a gloomy tunnel. Oh, this is quite pretty. Look at the purple.
You've made it, and look at you. Even with all you've been through. The Tuatha, your return from the dead. Please forgive me. You must be terribly confused by all of this.
Indeed.
I am Fomerus Hughes, and this is my laboratory at Alistar. Everything you see here is dedicated to one thing. The Well of Souls. The pursuit of immortality. And you're my first success. If we only
Really?
had the time, there's so much we might learn from one another.
What's going on?
Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet. What's important is getting you out of here safely.
Would
You're
it
the
matter
only
if they
proof
knew
of what
about
we've
me?
achieved here. I may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe.
I'm the only success. Where are we?
We're in the Feylands, miles away from the front lines. I thought we were safe enough from the war, but it seems some of the Tuatha found their way here anyway.
I've got more questions.
Of course you do. Please, though, we must hurry.
Tell me more about the Well of Souls.
It's been my life's work. Decades of research with a singular goal, ending death itself. And now, you're the only proof that it's a success. But why did it work on you and no one else? What makes you different from the others? There are so many questions to ask, and if we're to get any answers, we've got to get you someplace safe.
Very well. Do you know how I died?
I wish I could tell you more, but your death is a mystery to me as well. It seems that your memory died with your body.
Yes,
You see,
it's
the
very
well is designed to
disconcerting.
capture the soul of someone recently deceased, recreating their physical form within its waters. Simple, really. Your rebirth is the first we might truly call a success. There have been others, but the results weren't quite right.
Tell me about yourself.
I am Fenris Hughes, scholar of Vivification Prime Circle. We're standing above my life's work, the Well of Souls. And there's so much to learn about you, though. I imagine it's all a bit muddled. A side effect of the prismere? Shape of the basin? No. If only we had more time.
You believe the shape of the basin impacted my memory? Tell me about the Fae.
The Fae are complicated. I could write 10 volumes on the effects of immortality on their pseudo-feudal court system alone.
Who are these attackers?
You don't know. They're called the Tuatha. They were once Fae folk of the Winter Court, but they've been twisted by their Lord Gadflow. But how could they have found us out here? We're miles away from the front lines. The war has never touched Dalantarth. And why attack the well?
If they are from the Winter Court, does that not mean that they were Fae? Or are Fae? In which case they have immortality, right? Okay,
Good. We can't waste time.
I don't know. I feel like wasting time is kind of fun. But let's get out of here.
Yes, you're right. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe.
I'm
It's just
doing
that
my
you-
best to stay safe.
You're... Wait, where are you going?
Fascinating. Simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow... yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what... Perhaps I should go see. Sir! Mr. Hughes! The Tuatha have reached the lab!
What
They're
happened?
inside the lab!
Oh, that is not good. Poor little man.
We've got to get you out of here now! Quickly!
Follow the path to the town of Walmart. Find Agar. He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else, stay alive!
All right. He's a fast little fella, isn't he? Nice. Alright, so we're escaping. Oh, got knocked down. I got knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You never want to move faster. Press and hold X while running to sprint. Something I have been doing all throughout this gameplay. Oh. Any more of you? Sparkles. Let's move through. I feel like the music is creating quite the dire situation. Thank you for the healing potion. Oh, that is one giant troll. Talk about realistic graphics, guys. I forgot that you need to press that button continuously to get 100% increase of XP. So keep in mind when you're doing your final move, you need to press whatever button comes up on your screen continuously, incessantly, until you receive the 100% XP increase. Let's go. I think that perhaps the music that they provide in this gameplay might be something that is more distracting rather than helpful in keeping us nice and calm and peaceful and sleepy. So I kind of like it though. Perhaps I just need to make it slightly more quiet. Alright, let's see how that goes. Let's see what we've got out here. As we move through, we need to be trying to collect reagents from all of the plants that we see. They will glow on our way past, and there is the opportunity to be able to increase the visibility of them on the minimap through skill points. Currently we have a level up, so let's do that now. Level up, you can see here where we're able to detect hidden. That is what I'm referencing. We should be able to put skill points into here and then make other things visible on the minimap for us, so it's a bit easier to find them and faster. Normally my skill points are here, persuasion and stealth, though I feel like stealth may be a little bit of a waste with this game just because of the way that the enemies function once you're in game. It does work well in the tutorial, but even when I've had it leveled all the way to here, I still find that it's not the best thing to use. If you are attempting to sneak up on an enemy, it also causes you to move quite a bit slower, to the point that you move close to the enemy and it has plenty of time to turn around a bunch of times and see your character. So I don't know what you would want to make of that, but personally, even though I absolutely love stealth, I find it to be kind of pointless in this game. And I've built up the stealth skill twice on two different characters. First time was when I was playing this on the PlayStation 3. Second time was when I played it on the PlayStation 4 for the first time. Persuasion is something I often level up and find really helpful early on. Dispelling is something I don't tend to level up because I find those quite easy to break without exploding them, regardless of whether your skill is up or not. You just have to have good timing, which in the past I have had. I don't know if I still do though. Alchemy is something I never level. Detect hidden is something I very rarely level. Lockpicking I do. Mercantile I don't usually do early on because you accumulate gold rather quickly anyway. I think we have to 100% avoid stealth because I do that so often, and I'm not going to be using daggers this time, so let's avoid that completely. My first choice would be persuasion, but I feel like maybe I shouldn't do that and I should perhaps go with detect hidden instead. But detect hidden is something that's useful to make the game quicker, this is something that's useful to increase the enjoyment of the gameplay. I much prefer this, so I am going to lean heavily into might, with perhaps sorcery as a secondary because of the stats that this particular race has. But I do think I'm going to put my point into persuasion here. It would either be that or lockpicking, and lockpicking is something I choose more often than persuasion. So let's go with persuasion. Then over here you can see up the top where I've got the option for might, finesse, and sorcery. Might I absolutely never use. Finesse I absolutely every time use. And sorcery I sometimes use. So I want to use might first off at least. And I'm thinking we might stick with the long sword. One thing I will say is that you do want to make sure at the beginning of your gameplay you kind of decide where you're going with this. Either that or visit a Fate Weaver after you've tried everything out and decided what you like, and have them reset all of your stats so you can choose what you actually want. But I already know how this game functions well enough that I can kind of decide what I want to do here. I'm thinking I'm going to stack my points into the Longsword Mastery at this point until we get it up to level 6, and see how we go. So I think I'm going to commit to the Longsword being the weapon that I choose. So we're going to put all my points in there and confirm. We now have a Squire's Ring that we are going to equip. It gives us +5 health.
Guys, I am so sorry about my cat. He was very chatty that day, and there's no way for me to cut it out of the video, so sorry.
Our consumables are stacking up. I don't tend to slot any of the new ones, so we'll leave that there. And we now have more lockpicks and the well progress log from earlier. So let's head out of here. I will say my character looks really bizarre. I never put her in armor like that. She's always in something much more light and simple. Currently our quest says speak with the Fate Weaver in Goreheart. So a Fate Weaver is someone who can adjust your stat points for you, but I don't know that he can do it immediately. I believe we have to have a conversation with him first. I believe it's a man, the first one that we meet. The pulsing circle on your minimap indicates your quest objective. Following it will lead you to your current goal. Then you can see I'm heading for this little green dot here. That's because I want to activate this, the shrine. Shrines will give you a temporary bonus. Different deities will give different bonuses to your character. Usually I don't seek them out for their specific bonus. I just come across them and grab whatever one happens to be close to me. You can stack them as well and have multiple functioning at once. But yeah, I don't tend to seek them out because I do tend to play this game in either casual or normal mode, because I'm playing it for the storyline, not for the difficulty level with this game. Some reagents are more difficult to harvest than others. Invest in the alchemy skill to improve your ability to harvest reagents. I will say alchemy is something I haven't tended to put many stat points in early on, but it's also not very necessary early on, as the potions that you require tend to be dropped for your character. I believe this is the Fate Weaver.
You've come from the tower, haven't you?
Indeed.
Name's Agarth. Maybe you can help an old Fate Weaver, eh?
Perhaps. What is a Fate Weaver?
Fate Weavers look at the great tapestry of fate. The threads will tell us how a life will unfold. But knowing the future and being able to change it are two very different things.
While my character is likely not going to know it, and definitely going to change it. Actually, she will know it, because I think the Fae convey that information to her at some point. Anyway, Hughes sent me here to find you.
Did he? Poor old Fomerus Hughes. He respected the way the world works. What a shame. He's probably dead by now.
I don't know. He was fighting quite well when we left, and we're able to defeat multiple enemies at once. Maybe he is also able to do that. What makes you think he's dead?
The cards told me that the Well of Souls would work, but Hughes's success would come on the day of his death.
Oh.
He took it pretty well, honestly, although we did a lot of drinking after that.
Wise. Can you give me some help? That is at 95%, so we're going to opt for that one.
I suppose I could spare a little help in memory of Hughes, or in celebration of his success. Whichever.
I believe that has gone up to 95% because I have spent that skill point. So, see how it's a little bit of a benefit to have the persuasion skill up at the start? What are the cards?
You really don't know much, do you?
No.
A Fate Weaver taps into the threads of fate and channels that energy through a focus. My order prefers cards. The cards are unique to each Fate Weaver, since we all see the weave differently.
How exciting. That's okay. I was dead too.
You're the one. Then that means it all makes sense now.
Yes.
The cards this morning. I drew the Gravedigger, the Running Man, and the Beast.
I don't
Prepare
know what
yourself.
that means.
They're coming.
Am I a beast? Or I'm the thing that came out of the grave? Perform special attacks and defeat enemies to gather threads of fate energy. Okay. Oh, more of you. When your fate meter bar is full, the fate symbol will pulse. You can then use your fate energy to enter reckoning mode, hence the name of the game. Alright, press X to continue. Reckoning mode greatly increases your speed and attack power. It lasts until either your fate meter runs out or you fate shift an enemy. Alright, hold L2 and R2 to harness the power of fate. Enter reckoning mode now. Alright. As you defeat enemies in reckoning mode, their fate will begin to unravel. Very well. Move near an unraveling enemy and press X to perform a fate shift. This uses your remaining fate energy to destroy all unraveling foes and grants you an experience bonus. Press X. This is where we need to make sure we do this for that 100% XP increase. Indeed it is. Alright, what are you going to say now, sir?
What? How? What are you?
Magic.
The threads of fate. I've seen them before, but I've never seen anyone manipulate them like that. You just changed how the world was supposed to work. How did you do that?
I am a fate manipulator. That's how. I don't know. I just did it.
Fate is the will of the gods. No mortal should be able to change it. How is that even possible? Come here. I'm going to do a reading. You might be able to change the threads, but fate will still have a plan for you. I promise
don't
not
really
to tell
want
you
a
if I see
reading.
your death.
Do you always see death?
It's a gift. Some people paint landscapes. Other people write poetry.
Some see
I
death.
peer into the weave of fate's tapestry and see people's deaths.
Gross. Well, since my death was in the past, I don't think you're going to see it. All the same, I'd rather not.
Don't worry. It's quick, it doesn't hurt, and there's no charge. And after what I've seen, I'm not letting you out of my sight until I have an answer.
Oh, brother. I don't believe in fate.
That's fine, but you don't have to. But I can see that you're nervous.
I'm not
Relax.
nervous.
This is
I'm
what fate weavers
skeptical.
do. I'll be seeing your thread in the weave of fate. Who you are, what you've done, where your path takes you. Or at least, I should be. You're real, right?
Of course.
I swear I haven't had that much.
You can't see my fate.
Fate's weave is always hard to see. It's in motion, hard to make out, but undeniably there. Yours is just missing. This doesn't make sense. All mortal creatures have a place in the pattern. You should have one too, dead or not. If this is
No,
true,
maybe I'm
and
not
I'm not
mortal.
saying I believe
Or
it,
maybe because she was
then your
dead and now she's
path
alive, she
is
doesn't
yours
have
to
one.
determine.
Not mortal sounds fun. Alright, we've got the Fateless one. Newly resurrected, your fate is blank, formless, and ready to be forged in the shape of your choosing. We can choose Brawler. With this destiny, you are formidable melee combatant. You can withstand a lot of punishment, and it is usually more efficient for you to block or suffer an attack rather than dodge one. That's going to be fun to try not to do. I'm a massive dodger. You know what I mean. Rogue, this is what I normally start with. Finesse 1. Unlike many of the warriors of Amalur, rogues prefer to fight from far away. That is not something I tend to do, actually. Or from behind, yes. Or by dishonorable means, and usually by surprise. Sometimes. As a rogue, you sneak, dodge, and slather weapons with poison to gain the advantage in combat. Normally, that is what I do. Acolyte, so this would be sorcery 1. As an acolyte, you are devoted to the arcane and a mastery of elemental forces. You prefer to destroy your opponents with raw magic rather than through crude or mundane methods. I suppose that's what we're calling weapons now. Alright, so rogue is what I would normally choose. Acolyte kind of applies to my normal choice of having sorcery as a secondary weapon. So we're going to do brawler. I will show you these though. So normally I either will flow through these and end up a Nightblade, or I will do Finesse Sorcery here and end up a Shadow Caster. This time we're needing to focus on Might much more heavily, so we will either go through here and end up in Warlord, or we will go Might Sorcery and end up a Champion. I am a little curious about the Might Finesse line that they have here. This has Blade Master at the end, and then this is a combination of all three, which is something I did not realize was actually in here. And I find that extremely fascinating. Maybe that is something I should look into. But that being the case, I would need to choose a weapon. Actually, no. I believe the bow is part of the finesse line. If the bow is part of finesse, then we either need to remove it completely or we need to adjust so that we can accommodate finesse in our skill points also. I would rather not if we can help it, just because I always play something in finesse. But I will say, if we're going to only apply it to bow stats, maybe it would be helpful. I didn't realize that you could do all three. I'm curious about that now. What did you see?
I can see the threads around you, but they're shifting, changing so rapidly, I can't make sense of them.
That's
Normally
right.
the threads would guide my hand to the cards, and I'd use those cards to see your pattern in the weave. But it just didn't happen. They wouldn't focus. So
Maybe
either there's something
you
wrong
couldn't
with me,
focus because
and
you're
there
a little
isn't,
drunk.
or there's something very wrong with you.
I mean, that's quite possible. But you are terrible at this.
Damn it, it's the truth. At least, I think it is. The world is changing. You might be a sign of that. Or
Most
maybe the
likely.
cause. I've never had a reason to doubt my own readings, but we should consult with Arden. He's not a friend, but he's got a good eye for the tapestry. I'll meet you at his home to the east. I'm going to see if I can be of any help to the wounded at the tower.
All right. What's wrong with my fate?
That's just it. I don't know if you've got one, but that's why we're going to see Arden. He lives in a little hut to the east in Yulven. I'll meet you there.
Tell me about the Tuatha.
The Tuatha aren't like any fae I've ever known. They're cruel, bloodthirsty, and savage. Why, they're practically human.
Tell me about Hughes.
Hughes was always an odd one. Curious and determined as any of his kind, sure. He never shut up about his work. But he always knew what was important. He didn't worry about dying as long as he knew he'd get the well working.
What are Fate Weavers?
The Fate Weavers were once a great, unified order of sages from all the mortal races. We foretold the destinies of kings and gods. But that power takes a toll. Nobody likes bad news. And all the news in the world is getting worse. The order splintered long ago. Now the old traditions are all but lost. And all I foretell is the fate of my beer. And I see it being empty soon.
I mean, I could foretell that. Tell me about my fate.
We are all threads in the tapestry of fate, measured, woven, and cut according to a great plan. Fate weavers undertake the task of reading those threads. Our title always was a bitter lie, since we have no control over how that tapestry is woven. But you do. And when a fate weaver looks at your place in the weave, we see only the shapes of what you may choose to become.
Tell me of Arden.
You can find Arden's little cottage in the middle of Yovan. Had to move there when he got run out of town. He's a damned good fate weaver, but that doesn't make you very popular, especially not in dark days like these.
Tell me of Argarth.
Once I was Agarth the Unyielding, the Blade of Avgrum. I wrestled the Colossus priestess and declined knighthood by the High King of the Fae. I was a hero of men, but that wasn't enough for me. I joined the Fate Weavers, hoping to find a way to conquer destiny itself. Turns out fate is the one thing I couldn't fight.
So, the immortal Fae offered you a knighthood and you said no? Why? Is there a particular responsibility that comes along with that you weren't willing to fulfill?
What could this all mean?
It means I'm amazing, and you're way worse at being a fate weaver than you anticipated. Currently, it says, Agarth, fate weaver and close friend to Hughes, says that I appear to have no fate. If it's true, I would be the first mortal with no destiny. Agarth suggested we meet with a fellow fate weaver, Arden, in Yolven. So let's head to Yolven. I do wish that this game in some way incorporated mounts. Use Delentarth Stone.
Of all the songs in halls of lore, there echoes none more grand than Olene's many feats of might, the pure and lady of the light. She is a knight of golden knot. She is the cure seeker, the conscience of the summer fae. She is the heart of spring, of day.
So I believe those stones give us a little bit of a tale to do with the Fae, and also give you a permanent benefit to your character. Let's open the loot chest. Thank you. It also said that I have a new quest come up. So quests. Now we have Contact the Expedition. I've heard of an expedition of mercenaries that discovered a route to the teeth of Naros, an unexplored land to the south of Delentarth. I should make contact with the expedition and see if I can accompany them on their journey. We also have this mission that is only able to be completed when we reach level 10 or more. The Alpha Merchant Navy have a position for a willing and courageous individual. I should seek out their official contact, Commodore Garrick, in the Seafoam Tavern in Rither. We also have a side quest here. Travel to Gorhart. I have received a package of special items. They are currently being stored in a chest in the Gorhart village. I should go there to claim them. Now, this is something that I have messed up in the past. When I have received these items, I grabbed everything out of the chest at once, not realizing that a great many of them are unsellable, and I also did not wish to destroy them, as I wanted to be able to potentially use them in the future. So I collected them on my character and had them stuck in her inventory until I was able to get a house and put them in that house's storage. But by doing so, I take up extra slots in the storage that I may not need to if I simply collect only the items that I require from the chest and leave the rest in there. Now, I have not tested this, nor have I looked it up, so I do not know if leaving them in that chest is going to compromise my ability to access them at a later time. But I'm going to attempt it today with this character.
Everyone just stand back! The warden can't work when you're crowding so close. Go back to your business. Go on.
What's happening?
I'm so tired.
Same. It looks like a fae. What happened to her? Hello.
I don't care what you race. It's a tragedy whenever anyone's savage like this.
What happened to her?
Just look at the poor creature. She's been beaten to the brink of death.
Oh my goodness.
The Fae may be strange, but they certainly don't deserve this.
I mean, no one does. What happened?
It appears she was attacked with some manner of short blade. Likely a dagger, although
Wasn't
there's no
me.
way I can be sure. People simply stood by as she called for help. No one lifted a finger.
Why?
Can you imagine?
People hate the fae here.
It's shameful to treat another in such a way, even if she is a Fae. I
That's
don't know
why.
whether we possess the knowledge to treat such a wound. Frankly, I don't even know if I could save a mortal with such grievous wounds.
Who attacked her?
It's difficult to say. We've been plagued by the Red Legion for days, but it's not their way to go after the Fae in the area. They like their targets mortal. In case you haven't heard, there have been some Tuatha sighting in the woods to the west, so that's also a possibility. It's unlikely, though.
Right. I'd like to help.
Well, you're the only one. With all the troubles we've suffered in this village, people are wary of adversity. They'd rather just ignore it.
Rude.
I'm going to suggest something a bit untraditional. There's a Fae named Eri. She spends her days up on the hill overlooking the village.
Alright.
Seek her wisdom. I would do it, but I'm a coward. That's the truth.
At least he's
Perhaps
honest.
the Fae will know how to heal a Fae. If not, then we're back where we started.
Alright. Where can I find Eri?
She spends her days in the precipice overlooking the village. She doesn't think we're aware of her presence, but we most certainly are.
Tell me of the Tuatha.
I don't know what the Tuatha will be doing this far from the front lines. It must be something vital to their interests. They're a wicked breed, though, and I pity the man who meets up with them in these darkened forests.
What is the Red Legion?
I've seen many bandit clans in the Crystal War and back home, but these men are a particular breed. They like their victims weak and bloody. The Red Legion has been a presence in the area for several weeks now. Our people are scared to show their faces after dark. I'm the Warden of Goreheart, and a poor one at that.
Oh.
I've been back from the war for only 6 months and been Warden for less than 2. Now here I am with an injured Fae on my doorstep. I'm a disgrace.
Hey, I didn't say it, man. Tell me of this village.
We keep a precarious peace with the Court of Summer, one that's tested every day. I lie awake at night worrying what kind of disaster awaits me in the morning. But we're a good community full of good people. We have our eccentrics, sure, but we work hard and live quietly. That's the best anyone can do these days.
I suppose.
Is anyone else bothered by the fact that they are kind of just standing there having a casual conversation while the Fae is moaning in pain on the ground?
You have a good relationship with the Fae?
I've spent most of my life dealing with them,
Oh.
but they aren't like us. Not at the core. They don't know what it means to be a man who sweats to feed his family. Goreheart has become a sort of refuge for those settlers who wish to live a life free of Fae.
Oh.
I don't see that lasting. Not with the war. Not with everything changing.
Tell me about the Crystal War.
Our fate rests in the hands of a few chosen who fight in the east. You wouldn't even know it in Gorhart. We're miles away from the smoke and the screams.
Tell me about the Court of Summer.
Peaceful Fae make up the tribe known as the Court of Summer. They are led by a king in a faraway city, hidden from mortal eyes.
Whence
That's
and
about all I
when.
know. Little more than rumors and stories from my youth. Hope you stay in town.
Thank you. Alright, so over here is the chest that I was talking about. You can see there's a lot of items in here, and I had made the mistake of grabbing all of them. Now, what I actually want to do, and probably you do also, is find only the items that are going to be useful to the build that you're attempting to create, or it's going to take up a bit of space in your inventory, particularly until you find that you have got yourself a house in one of the villages. So here we want to look for a blade. Here we go, the forge. I believe the forge is the one we want. You can see it's got slow speed as the thing. Maybe that's a great sword rather than a long sword. I don't know if there are other weapons. We'll keep going. The Guardian. 15 elemental. This has 1 might, so this is probably the armor set that we want to grab. So let's grab all of the Guardian pieces. You can see that these have a added benefit with each extra item that you put on your character. New twist of fate awarded. Confident. You follow your path with uncommon coolness and ease, rarely letting your situation suffer from extremes. Plus 5% ice resistance, plus 5% fire resistance. Harbinger. Preternaturally aware of the motions of fate, you not only alter the destinies of your slain enemies, but can absorb some of their experiences as well. Plus 2% XP gain while in reckoning mode. So let's put the armor pieces on, and I'll show you what I mean. So that is our first piece of Guardian. This is the second piece, and you can see that plus 10% block efficiency has now been highlighted. Then we will go to our hands. Now you can see that we have plus 10% piercing resistance increased on there also. Then we can place leg pieces on. Now I'm not 100% sure if there are other items that are underneath there that improve as we put on our other pieces, because at the moment when I scroll on it, it only scrolls to the bottom of the text of information, which is that the Guardian is a card of faith, truth, and those that stand against adversity. Those mortals fated with the image of the Guardian will stand against their foes to the end. So I'm not sure if there are extra things that have occurred from putting on all 5 pieces. I suspect that there is, but as it stands with the items at the moment, we can't scroll down and see it. And if I go into comparison mode, I also can't scroll down past the in between the text and the stats. So I am not sure if there is more there, but you can see that the bottom of the 3 there has been cut off, so I suspect there's something missing in between. I may be mistaken with that. Alright, let's put on the fine longsword we have received. Our weapons are fine. Alright, let's go back to this chest. So as you can see, there are still more items in here that we can access, and as far as I know, they won't disappear. But I guess we will just have to wait and see if they will or not. It looks like we have some different shields, and this may be a bow. So I'm going to grab this bow. Then we have the beast. I can't tell what kind of weapon this is. Maybe a chakram, I'm not sure. Then we've got the tower, which is a shield that has 1 might place, so we are going to grab that as our new shield. The mountain is, that looks like a war hammer, I believe, which is not what we're looking for at the moment. We are trying to find, oh, here we go, more weaponry. Not what we're after. We would like a long sword, not a great sword. Here we go. These look like swords. Okay, let's compare this one. That is slow speed again. We've got average speed on our current longsword. So is this maybe the longsword? Average speed. I believe this is the longsword. We might want to compare with it. It's actually very similar. It just has plus 15% reckoning duration, which I feel could be quite handy. So let's grab that weapon. This is for finesse, so not a shield that we are interested in. Pensive is not what we want either. Omni Blades is the weapon that I will normally grab out of here for my character because they are really handy dual wields. We've got a Fate's Curve, which is also a bow. Let's jump out of there and equip the newest items we have so we're comparing everything to the correct item. So this is our current sword. It is beautiful. Look at that purple and blue. And our secondary, we want to put the hunter in place there. That is an insane looking bow. Look at that. Wow. Alright, let's go back to this chest. Fate's Curve is the one we want to look at. 12 physical, 5 piercing, 15 reckoning duration. So the one we currently have is definitely better. Higher damage output for it as well, 18 over 17. We have an Elixir of Inspiration. Let's take that. The Dowsing Rod we will take. Compass of Fate is a magical device that reacts to the threads of fate weaving around its target's mind and heart. I believe that is something we can put into our wheel here and activate as needed to increase our persuasion level at will. So let's just have a look here. We're going to put the tower in. Beautiful. This looks so odd to me. This is not armor. I would never be wearing this. Never. Consumables. Alright, so we're going to map that to radial. Map this one. We need instantly gain 500 experience points. Let's use that. There we go. An extra 500 XP has been added. Compass of Fate. We cannot map it to the radial at this stage. I'm not sure exactly how we use it, but let's keep it in there just in case, along with the dowsing rod, which will become helpful later if we choose to do alchemy, which I'm not sure about at this stage. I'm just going to highlight this as it's probably the first mission that we will do. Speak to Aerie the Fae. A Fae maiden has been attacked and is still clinging to life. The warden of Gorehart village, Herc Adwold, hopes to save her, but he isn't sure how best to treat her wounds. He suggested that I speak to Aerie, a Fae who spends her time watching the village from above. A little creepy if you ask me. Alright. Hi. You're very cheery. Did you need something? Alright. I will just check if there's anything else in here that we are interested in. We could potentially grab the staff as well and have that just spare in the inventory for something we can use for burning down webs and things like that. So I feel we should also grab this. The valley is not relevant. No. Not sure on this one. No, we'll leave that for now. Vigilant. Oh, this seems like a higher level for the might one. Let's grab Vigilant. Vigilant Helm. Vigilant Curious.
What exactly are we curious about?
Gauntlets. We can see there the extra add-ons that are occurring. 10% stun duration, plus 15 health. Legs. just the feet left and the greaves. So I think I may have been mistaken. You can see there for the third one down with plus 15 health that 3 also looks cut off, but the next item is visible underneath. So I think perhaps I was simply mistaken with the other one, and this is just a straight up improvement from it. And does allow us to have only 4 items of armor to complete those extra items on the set. So that's not bad. Weapons. I love my sword. We're just going to turn on the hide helmet here as well, because I find that very off-putting. I much prefer to see my character's face. As I was scrolling down, the shepherd's one came up also. This is also with 3 might. It's got stun, duration, melee. I mean, this looks interesting as well. I do think I currently prefer the one that I'm wearing, so I will leave it for the moment. But good to know there are other ones in there that might be useful. Well, on that note, I think we will leave my character here until next time. Have a good one, guys.